Welcome to Chamber Chat. I'm Judy Taylor, President of the Habersham County Chamber of Commerce. Thank you for joining us. Today my guests are State Representative Terry Rogers, Ivy Hall with Initials Inc., and Mitch Roden with the Orchard Golf and Country Club. And my first guest is State Representative Terry Rogers. Welcome, Terry.
Thanks, Judy. Glad to be here.
Well, thank you for being here. And Terry, I just want to start off by congratulating you that Governor Nathan Deal has asked you to be a House floor leader.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
We're so happy that our representative is doing that.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. The governor called last week, and it kind of came out of the blue, but I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, tell us, what does that entail? What will you be doing a little bit differently from what you've always done?
You know, basically, it doesn't change that much. My main priority is still the people of Habersham and White County, to represent them. I will be their representative. All it really means is that the governor, of course, has an agenda of things that he'd like to see through the legislature. He has to have someone to carry that legislation. And so he has a team of floor leaders for both the House and the Senate. And what we'll be doing is working with him on the legislation and carrying the bills and answering questions and sort of serving as a liaison between other members of the House and the governor's office, and answering any questions that either one may have.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're still happy that our representative has that designation. But tell me, Terry, what do you see as the top issues that the legislature will be addressing this year? I know there are many, but what do you see as just the top issues?
Well, I think there's three that come up to my mind right away. First thing that I do want to point out is that this is a two-year legislative session. We're at the first part of the two-year legislative session. Mm-hmm. So there may be things that we start to work on this year and then don't get around to maybe finalizing until next year. But the top three things, obviously economic development. Georgia is the #1 state in the nation for business.
Yes, and we're wanting to get some of that up here in Habersham County, too.
And we're working hard to try and get that.
Yes, we are.
We're doing some of the good things that are necessary to do that. Mm-hmm. But economic development, of course, when you are #1, then you have other people starting to shoot at you even more. So we want to make certain that we maintain and solidify our position there. So we're looking at different things that we can do to reduce taxes and to possibly undo some regulations, or make certain that regulations are not burdensome mm-hmm. for the state. So
and for the businesses.
And for the businesses, absolutely. That's mm-hmm. what it's all about.
Yes.
So economic development will be a top thing. Education is always something that we'll be looking at. One of the things that may come to light is possibly looking at new ways to fund education. And then the third thing, I think, is a very obvious thing. It's transportation. It's something that we're going to need some money for transportation, but we have to figure out how we're going to do that.
Right. And you all have to, you're mandated to balance the budget every year.
Yeah, that's the one thing that I can say is I can tell people that they don't have to worry about having a balanced budget. We will balance the budget. We're constitutionally mandated to do that, and unlike the federal government, we're not going to borrow the money to do it.
You can't just keep going in debt and going in debt. We're proud of that too, Terry.
We are.
Oh, Terry, will you be sponsoring any bills?
Well, I've got two that I've co-sponsored, that I've already sponsored so far, or pre-filed, let's put it that way. I've got a number of different things I'm working on, but the two bills that I've already pre-filed, one is what's called a stolen valor bill. And it was brought to my attention by an FBI agent who lives in the area here, Mark Sewell. Hmm. And what it is are people that are impersonating veterans or claiming military honors that they don't have a right to, and then they're profiting off of those. And so this bill basically mirrors federal law, so that the state, if the federal won't prosecute them, then it gives the option of prosecuting under the state law. So I think it's a good thing. It defends the integrity of the military system.
Right.
The second thing, it also has a local connotation to it, and that is that it was HB 19, but I think we're going to do some tweaking, so it'll probably get a different number. But it's all about organ procurement. We had a young lady that passed away a couple of months ago, Hannah Nicholson Gabriels, and she could have benefited from an organ transplant.
Was that somebody in Habersham County or just in the state?
No, Hannah is from Habersham County. Okay. It's Kathy Nicholson's daughter.
Okay.
And she could have benefited from an organ situation if we had gotten to that. When we got to looking into it, we realized what a dearth of organ donors that there really was, and we found a glitch in state law where if you go in to get your driver's license now, you can sign up to be an organ donor.
Right.
And over 3 million people have taken advantage of that. But if you go into the driver's license to get a state ID card, there was no provision to do that. So people were coming in getting state ID cards, wanted to be organ donors, couldn't do it. So we're just simply adding some language to the law, which will open up a whole new avenue for organ donation.
That's great.
Yeah, it's a good thing.
It is a good thing. And, well, Terry, it is amazing how time flies. I cannot believe that you have been going to the Capitol now for 3 years.
Yeah.
You actually went in the middle of a session, didn't you?
Yeah, I was elected in a special election in 2011 and came into the second part of the session.
Yes.
And thank goodness for our Congressman Doug Collins, who was in the State House at the time. He kind of took me under his wing, and otherwise it would have been drinking water out of a fire hydrant.
Well, this is your 3rd year there representing us, and we do appreciate it. But what is most important to you about being a representative?
Well, you know, you can talk about legislation and you can talk about things like that, but the most important thing to me is constituent service. And it doesn't matter if I'm in Atlanta or if I'm here or whatever. If we can help people with a problem, to solve a problem, at least put them in the right direction or something like that, that's what matters to me. And I think I want everyone to know that, you know, just because we're in session, don't feel like you can't call or whatever. Mm-hmm. If you're having a problem, I'm not going to guarantee you that we can solve it for you, but what we can do is get an answer for you.
Absolutely.
And we'll work hard to do that. Obviously, I have a passion for the people of Habersham and White County and the people of Northeast Georgia, and I just want to make certain that their quality of life is the best that it can possibly be. And if we can do something to alleviate some of the burdens or the problems that they may be having with state government, we want to do that.
Well, Terry, I can say this, that every time that I have contacted you and asked you to do anything for me or for the chamber or for Habersham County through the chamber, you have responded immediately.
Well, I appreciate that. I am going to go ahead and throw in a plug for Habersham County Day.
Yes.
The chamber is bringing a group of Habersham County citizens and local leaders down there to the Capitol in February. And
February the 18th.
February the 18th, and that's always you know, that comes at about midway point of the thing, and by this time you're sick and tired of seeing all of your colleagues. And it's always great to see, you know, local faces and everything.
Well, you all make us feel so welcome. You and Senator Wilkinson and Representative Gazaway, you just roll out the red carpet. We get recognized in both chambers, and we do appreciate that.
Well, we enjoy it. We enjoy having y'all.
We do too, and we carry a bus every year up there. And I think last year we carried about 75 people.
Yeah, actually, I thought it was a little bit more than that, but it was a rowdy bunch. That's maybe why it sounded
we
louder
had fun,
than that.
though. Terry, thank you for being on Chamber Chat. And again, thank you for all that you do for Habersham County.
Thank you, Judy.